that normal, guys?
Male piece, female piece. Shabam! Hey everybody, welcome back to Adventures of Spackmann. Today, we're fixing an upside down stovepipe. No, it's not this piece of wood or this giant stovepipe attached to it. It's this little piece right here. So stick around, because we're building it, testing it, and doing carbon monoxide testing all in this video. Hope you enjoy. You ever wonder why companies make stovepipes that go over the stove and not into the stove? So did I. I've never really liked the concept of creosote being able to come down your pipe when you're burning your wood stove. So when I got the cheapest hot tent stove from Amazon, it came with a pipe that was flipped upside down, allowing creosote to flow down it. I haven't experienced that much yet with this pipe, but I did experience it a little bit, and I'll show you some of that right now. You can see right here on this pipe that the creosote started dripping, but it looks like it stopped at that crack, and if it continued, it might have been a problem. So the upside down pipe was one of my biggest complaints about the cheapest hot tent stove from Amazon. So I set out and trying to fix it. I first started with a small piece of stovepipe. I cut that down to the diameter of the stovepipe itself, which is 2.36 inches, I believe, or 6 centimeters. And I didn't like the way that fit. So I went off into my shop to find something else that worked. And I found this here. I'll show you what that is at the end of this video, after my testing is complete. So I've been testing it all night, and I got one more test to run it through, and then I'll show you what I made. So if you have an upside down pipe for your wood stove, and you want to prevent a creosote drippage problem, then stick around, because today I'm solving that. A lot of you said that the pipe goes the other way to prevent CO from escaping from the pipe. So that's why I'm running these tests after I flipped it over, just to put your minds at ease and to put my own at ease. I did the same test, the same two tests, one with the pipe and one without the pipe, with the pipe going the other way without my adapter. Those were my control tests. They did fine. Carbon monoxide detector showed 0 the whole time. So now I moved into testing the adapter. Now I'm not a scientist, so whatever you do to your own stove is what you do to your own stove. I am not recommending that you do this. I am showing you what I did to invert the pipe and showing you that it could help solve your problem with a creosote drip if you experience one, or if you want to prevent yourself from experiencing one. Alright, so this is what I came up with. I'll show you exactly what it is after I'm done testing. But that slides in there. I have a hose clamp that goes on. And then normally, your pipe with your damper would go on this way. Now, it goes in this way. Like that. And then when you're with your screwdriver, tighten up the hose clamp, just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And there we go. Alright, so now I have the stovepipe all together. I'm going to stick it up through my stove jack sleeve. And then watch this, guys. Male piece, female piece. Shabam! That's awesome. Let's start this test off. We're at 67 because I've had that pipe off for so long. So let's reset this. Starting at 0. Max is 0 too. We got 1, 2, 3, and we're right at the third intersection of pipe for this test. I'm gonna get this fire going and get right back to it. Alright, I just got the fire going for test number 1 with the upside down pipe. I'm gonna be burning this as long as I possibly can, as hot as I possibly can, and see how that adapter holds up to the heat and to the fire. I'm also gonna be checking for carbon monoxide leaks and seeing how well this performs with the pipe going the opposite way. Fire's off to a slow start, but it will get going soon. Oh, look at this, guys. Look at this tiny cast iron pot, or skillet, tiny cast iron skillet. This was part of one of those Christmas gifts that you find in those Christmas aisles at Walmart. It came with like cookie mix or brownie mix, and you make one cookie out of it with this pan, and it happens to be perfect size to go on top of there. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to have this test going for quite a few hours tonight. I got to make sure this is safe and going well. So I'll check in periodically throughout the night and let you know how it's doing. And then once I'm done testing it like this, I do plan on putting that pipe over the pipe. I feel like that's a good way to trap the CO if it is escaping through the pipe, and at least funnel it to the one main hole where I can stick the detector and see if it's building up CO. It's pretty warm for almost January. Actually, this weekend coming up, we're going to have, I think, almost 40-degree weather. So I will be busting out the hose and testing some hot tents with the Spackmann water torture test. Which one do you guys want to see first? The version number 2 of the Stove Hut 70 or the new Pomali Chalet 70? Let me know in the comments down below. Which one should I test first? Or which one should I post first? And our test is on the way. I'll get back with you in a little bit. Alright, there's the pipe. There's the adapter. Sitting around 500 degrees, 550-ish. The pipe is glowing red all the way up to the smoke, or the carbon monoxide detector. So I've had this fire blazing for at least 3 hours now, and I'm gonna let whatever wood I just put in there a few minutes ago, it's hot, I'm sorry guys. Whatever wood I put in there a few minutes ago, I'm gonna let that burn down the coals, and then let the coals do its thing and release the carbon monoxide and see how it affects the carbon monoxide detector. And then I will be adding this the secondary pipe around this stove pipe and raising the carbon monoxide detector to the top of that pipe and testing it again there. I'm sorry, this is really hot. You probably don't want to run it this hot. I mean, you really don't want to run it this hot, but I am testing out that sleeve that I made for this. Make sure that it's working properly. And so far, so good. It's working great. Carbon monoxide detector still reading 0, so we're good there. So I'll check back in with you guys after this burns down the coal and I get the other pipe on there and tell you how it went. Alright, this is still reading 0. This is cool enough for me to touch. There's still a little bit of coals in the bottom, but that's alright. There's very minimum coals left, so whatever seal has escaped already was more than what's in there now. I'm going to take this pipe off, get the big pipe on, start the test again. That's the plan, at least. Well, I love it when a plan comes together. That works pretty well. Is that normal, guys? It's a massive rocket stove. Let's turn that down a little. Probably can't see me, but the fire's burned down the coals now. I just checked the CO detector again. It's still at 0, so I'm going to let these coals burn down, and that's going to conclude our testing. Alright, just finished the last test. Still reading 0. Alright, so now that I finished the testing for today, what this piece is the end of, I believe this is a dryer exhaust pipe. It's aluminum foil extendable pipe with stainless steel ends. I just ripped one end off of this side. Once you rip, it was really easy to rip this off. It literally just pulls right off. The aluminum foil doesn't hold up as well as this does. But once I took this off, there's a weld seam right here. I used a 4-inch angle grinder to cut that, but you can use a hacksaw if that's all you have. You could probably use a butter knife because it's pretty darn thin. And then I took about a 1/4 inch off the bottom so that it wouldn't catch on the lip of the bottom of the exhaust pipe thing right there. Once it was slit and the bottom was cut, I was able to fold it in on itself and fit it down into the top. You saw that in the video. Actually, I'll put that back on the screen right now. And then I used a hose clamp to secure it to the first stovepipe. It sits in the stove, so it's not going anywhere for there. Seems to be working great so far. Now, like I said, I'm not a scientist. I am not telling you to do this. I'm not responsible for you if you do this and something goes wrong. This is what I'm doing to invert the stovepipe so that I don't get the creosote drip. This may work for you. This may work for any other stove that has an inverted pipe and you want to fix it. I'm not sure. So I ended up getting this exhaust pipe on AliExpress.com. This is the 6 centimeter size. It's perfect for this stove specifically. Off of AliExpress, this runs about $12 shipped to your house. I also found it on Amazon, but on Amazon it's about $45. On eBay, you can pick it up for about $25. So if you don't trust AliExpress, there are other options for you. They're just not as cheap as AliExpress. Like I said, at first I used a piece of a stovepipe, and that seemed to work too. It just wasn't as pretty as this. And once I saw this, it just worked perfect. So this is what I went with. If you don't want to buy one of those, you can totally get a stovepipe and make that work. A hose clamp, stovepipe, good to go. Cut it to fit. That's all there is to it. I'm going to continue testing this the rest of the winter, and I'll let you know if anything pops up that I don't like about it. But as of right now, I really like this thing. It turned out great, and it actually looks good. I don't mind the way it looks. Must have been testing this stove for 8-9 hours today. Right now it's midnight. It's time for me to go to bed. So let me know what you guys think about this test. About the pipe going over there, the carbon monoxide, all that testing going on. Do you think this is a viable test? If you don't think this was a good test, how do you think I should test it? Do you have other ideas on how I could test it to see if there's carbon monoxide being leaked out of here? As far as I can tell, there's not. Anytime that I saw carbon monoxide on the detector, it was from the door, from me opening the door. Which happens with any stove. When you open the door, it releases carbon monoxide. Not a whole lot, but it does release carbon monoxide. That's about it. That's how I fixed an upside down pipe. If you like this sort of thing, think about hitting that subscribe button. I'll leave it right here in the middle. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one. I'm going to bed.